From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big Tuesday morning here on LALATE with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check the Democrats want you to have. We'll be going over the two-path process of the recon, fourth stimulus check, and the bipartisan roads and bridges. And then we'll be going over the voting process, a process that Chuck and Nancy call and is making Mitch very upset. We love when Mitch gets upset. And then we cut to the big money, which is fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime and then applies a benchmark and gives you another stimulus check. And then we go over the thousands, tens of thousands of dollars that viewers continue to get daily. Viewers getting 2-3 items at a time. It's your day to get the money as well. It's a big morning broadcast. I'm really excited for you about what's about to happen. And in this recording, you're going to see a lot of breaking news you're going to hear for the first time in the morning. This is a big early mornings broadcast starting right here, right now, direct from Santa Monica on LALATE. Beautiful Monday. You know, the weather was starting to look like it was going to be hot here in Santa Monica on Monday, and then it just sort of settled down. It was one of those days where you just sort of don't know what's going on. And that was the same way on the weekend. On Sunday, it seemed like it was going to be hot, but at the beach, it was freezing. So just all over the place. How's the weather where you are? Tell me where you're tuned in from, and how's the weather? In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, 3 parts. First part, the monthly stimulus check those Democrats still want you to have. Part 2, going over the two-path process, recon, which has your stimulus check in there, and fifth stimulus, and also bipartisan, which concerns roads and bridges. Third part of the video goes over the voting process and the incredible news that Chuck and Nancy and the president have your back as Fort Recon is really protected. And then we go over fifth stimulus in the second half of this video, which raises your benefits up, gives you another stimulus check, and then the thousands of dollars of viewers continue to get. You're going to learn how to get that money as well. And this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Taped in the mornings, well, taped with this show in the morning, and then live in the mornings, and then taped in the afternoons. At the same time of this show airing is Overnight's Crypto. This video will take you automatically into Overnight's Crypto when this show is over. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Get this channel to 1 million. Next up, 410,000 subscribers. Like this video. Every like helps. It also delivers you a side of parsley. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Barra, or Calcino VIP. Let's get right into that monthly stimulus check starting right now. House bill, Senate proposal, slightly different, but all monthly checks. Let's go over what you need to know and how different they are across the board. Those monthly stimulus checks are with the House, pandemic plus 1 year. Senate proposal, July to December. So less checks with the Senate than the House. The House progressives, the Senate Democrats, well, how about that monthly payout? House payout is $1,000 a month after the first month of 2000. Senate payout is unknown monthly, but word on the street is it's this. OMG, now that's deliciousness. $2,000 a month. Over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month. Over 6 months, $8,400. If you're on the live chat just after 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, vote House or Senate, House or Senate. Tell me where you're tuning in from. And how's the weather? But let's look at this. Well, those legislators may contend the pandemic's over. If they do, well, that would reduce you to 12 months of checks over 12 months. 12 checks over 12 months because there's 12 months and 12 checks, which is $13,000 from the House. Compare that to the Senate over 6 months. Yes, I think you got an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate. House or Senate, tell me where you're tuning in from. And how's the bacon? I mean, how's the weather? And there you go. Who gets that fourth stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent everyone who got a third stimulus check would be getting a fourth stimulus check. Single individual, $75,000 or less, you get a fourth stimulus check. Democrats represent. Married couple, $150,000 or less, Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Family of 4, Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. The forced stimulus check is the same amount for everyone. The forced stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And the forced stimulus check comes monthly. It's not a waivable check. So if you see the check at the boutique trying to put on a nice scarf and trying to try on a new scarf and say, don't turn to the check and say, hey, check, how you doing? You're trying a new scarf. Who do you think you are, Javita Light? Who wears scarves in July? You're just out of touch. Scarf, don't be rude to the check. It just can't wave back at you. It can wear a scarf, but can't wave back at you. So there you go. Scarves wearing checks or checks wearing scarves. It just, I don't know. The forced stimulus check would come in the month of July, for the month of July. Those Democrats represent. And the forced stimulus check would come in the month of August. That does not wear scarves unless you're Javita Light in the month of August. And then your forced stimulus check would call for a final vote by July 4th. Those Democrats represent. And there you go. That is your first of your 3 parts of your forced stimulus check update of 2021 in today's video. In the second part, we go over stuff you're going to hear for the first time on this early morning's broadcast, the two-path process. Why the two-path process has been wonderful for you, because finally, forced stimulus has an identity, and forced stimulus has fourth stimulus fort. The fort of forced stimulus, F-O-R-T, not F-O-R-T-E. That's French. Forte. No, not forte. Fort. And there you go. In the third part of this video, we go over the voting process and why that fort is helping you and why Chuck and Nancy and the president are doing a wonderful job on this. And Mitch is just so upset. We love when Mitch is upset because we're winning. We're going to go over all those details as well. But let's get a preview of the second half of this video, which is fifth stimulus that heats up this fall with another round of stimulus checks. OMG. But raise your benefits up a lifetime. Oh, yes. There we go. But first, let's get some money. It's Tuesday, and I'm wearing a checkerboard. And, checkerboard means checks. We're going to cash checks. That's what we do on this channel. We cash checks. We don't track checks, and I've been doing that since day one. I got viewers $25 million of EIDL loans last year to save their business, their homes, and also their employees' homes. And then in fall of 2020, it was much like now. People needed checks. Second stimulus was not going out, and I got viewers $250,000 of rent and utilities. Well, we're doing it right now as well. Get that pen and paper ready, and if it must be Crayola Crown, it can be green. And I'm going to go over all the big money you can get right now, say at the very end, and we're going to start with rent, utilities, mortgage, and also homeowners' utilities. On this channel, we're cashing checks, not tracking checks. So we're saying, where's our $5,000 rent check? We're not saying what day in July are we getting a stimulus check. And let's start with that rent. Yes, it's about $5,000, about 4 to 6 months of rent. And I was wrong about that. How wrong was I? Because viewers got $12,000 and $10,000 last week, and this week someone got $10,000. Other viewers like Nisi got rent, utilities, SNAP. She got 3 items, so she got more than $5,000. Where are you going to get that money? I'm going to go over all the details right now. Each place has different eligibility, so if one says no, reach out to the next. And here we go. We're reaching out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch's fan club. Mitch has a fan club? I did not know that. No, Mitch does not have a fan club. I don't know if they do. Wow. And there you go. You don't say words that you don't know. And congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this big money. And the next spot of money is wonderful. It's coming back to you from Department of Agriculture. It's SNAP. It's money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. Reach out to it. Tim and Linda got it. Lynn Glenn got it for her son, her mom, and herself. Gail got it for herself. And viewers have been killing it. One viewer got $5,000 for this. Another viewer got almost $7,000 for it. Where do you get it? Department of Agriculture. How much does it pay? A lot. A family of 4 in Hawaii gets now upwards of $16,000 a year. Wow, why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15%. So go get it. $15,000 for SNAP, $16,000 for a family of 4 in Hawaii, $5,000 for rent. I'm killing it. You're killing it. We're all killing it. We're only 9 minutes of this video. But that check in that scarf, you're not killing it in July. Who wears a scarf in June and July? It's just strange. But let's get some more money, and it's $5,000. One viewer got $5,000 for this. What is it? It's the money coming back from your states. The states have been ordered to return money back to you that had been overpaid to you due to computer error. Where are you getting it? Direct deposit. If that was set up with your state for unemployment benefits. When are you getting that check back from that unemployment department? Reach out to them and say, hey, where's my check due to the computer error? And can you track it with a computer that actually works this time? And then finally, the last pot of money is wonderful. If you got in any money for this channel, jump in the live chat right now. If you jumped in before, say it again. Every viewer that says, I got $100 for Snap, I got $400 a Snap a month, which is a lot of money. I mean, that's like $6,000 a year. Just jump in the chat because it inspires other people. If someone has not gotten anything, they see someone saying, I got $400 a month, they're like, I want that money. I'm going to do what that viewer did. Wait, there's all these people doing this? I'm going to do this. Because suddenly, then you're helping inspire other people. And if you got this next pot of money, jump in the chat as well. It's money coming back for IRS. When you're getting it? This month. Let's go over how much it is, when you're going to get it, and how you get it. First, what is it? It is the refund check from IRS. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Tim got it, and Michael got it. Let's go over all the details. First, how much? If you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits, you paid $5,000 of taxes, you're getting back $4,000. When? This month. Where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yes, about 70% of the time. You can track it. Go to irs.gov, do a transcript search, and you'll be shocked what shocking development details it will reveal. It will reveal the taxes on your file, the taxes you paid. It will reveal, really, what does Mitch do when he dances? Maybe you shouldn't do the search. It's just a bad visual. And then it will reveal how to get tickets to Mitch's Lobster Fest 2021. And finally, the refund check you're getting. Is there more beautiful news than that? It is, as we go into your second of your 3 updates of your 4th stimulus starting right now. A week ago today, we were looking at your 4th stimulus checks in recon. And now, where are they? They're still in recon. The great news is that suddenly your checks have one, an identity, and now a fort around them. Fort stimulus. Fourth stimulus. If there's ever been a tongue twister, it's that. Fourth stimulus. Why did this all happen? Because suddenly they realized the recon was too bloated, overweight, overeating, big. Rotund. The 4th stimulus was too big, and Nancy and Chuck were having the conversations with the president over the last 3 weeks about this. Finally, they said, Mr. President, we need to take some stuff out of there. And what did they take out of there? Well, they took out of there, ironically, what you're going to see for the first time in this morning's broadcast, they took out of there the stuff that Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin wanted to go by bipartisan. And if they had part of it go by bipartisan, Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin were happy. And what did they do? They took the roads and bridges out. Stuff that you and I don't really care about. And then left all your deliciousness alone. And that became the recon and the bipartisan. The bipartisan is not your stuff. It's roads and bridges. Your stuff is still where it was in the recon. 4th stimulus, checks, climate, cares economy, checks for adults, checks, progressiveness. Or if you're Mitch McConnell, you're slamming and calling it socialism. And there you go. 2 paths. Your stuff in recon. The roads and bridges in bipartisan. It was sort of like a TV show that had too many cast members, and they said we need to do a spin-off. So we will do a spin-off with bipartisan. And ironically, it helped you a lot. Number one way it helped you was finally you had an identity. You had enough of those naysayers over the last 3 weeks saying, there's nothing for you in it. It's all roads and bridges. There's nothing in there but roads and bridges. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. No, there's not. They're just roads and bridges. Well, what do? They set the roads and bridges down the road because we were tired of hearing about the roads and bridges. So recon and bipartisan, and now the bipartisan has been kicked out of the recon. Literally kicked out of the recon. Now the bipartisan, the roads and bridges, is out of the recon. Finally, your recon has a beautiful identity. It is your stimulus checks from those progressives like Jalapa. The climate from the president, progressiveness like you've never seen. Electric vehicles, progressiveness. There is money for children and money for seniors and medicine, progressiveness and socialism, as Mitch McConnell would say. Beautifulness. And where's roads and bridges? Down the road. Down the road. So the second way this helped you was not only the identity, that finally your 4th stimulus had the identity of all this stimulus that's coming to you, that it is 4th stimulus. Then you also got the benefit of fort stimulus, F-O-R-T, that the fort was suddenly built around all the stimulus. We had always heard that people were trying to protect your stimulus, but we didn't know what this meant. Jalapal said it a week ago with Brian Schatz, Democrat out of Hawaii, that they president was appraising Jalapal for protecting your stimulus, and that that Jalapal was protecting the president's stimulus. Why are we protecting stimulus? Because they were protecting it from the did I say broads? The roads and bridges. They were protecting them from the roads and bridges. Now your forced stimulus fort is all protected as progressiveness as you've ever seen. In fact, the fort is as progressive as a fort can be. It's covered with progressiveness. And everything that's not progressive is down the road at the river in that bipartisan roads and bridges. You don't want it. I don't want bridges. I don't need a bridge. Don't sell me a bridge. I want my stimulus, and it's over here. So suddenly we have great news because, one, we have an identity. The identity that was tarnished because of the confusion by calling this roads and bridges or infrastructure, these pictures, these backdrops with bridges. And it's like, but there's stimulus in it. Yeah, what I'm hearing is about roads. Now you can hear less about the roads because they're over there. Now we're talking about your stimulus. And away we go. We also have the wonderfulness that's protected in a fort. And how do we get to that protected fort of recon? From Jalapal. Jalapal had written the president a letter. No, Schumer a letter about 2 weeks ago, saying, Chuck, call the vote on the recon. That letter was co-signed by 12 House Democrats among the 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president saying we're going to be putting monthly stimulus checks in that forced stimulus recon. Well, can we top that? We can. With this wonderful news. 7 House Democrats writing the president a letter saying, when we write forced stimulus recon, we'll be writing monthly stimulus checks in there. Well, who are these people? These wonderful people are the people who wrote your third stimulus recon check. Wow, now that's wonderful news. And what are they going to do next? They also represent they're going to do your fifth stimulus recon check. Wow, now that is wonderful news. These are the people who are on the House subcommittee, which I'm going to cover later in this video, who wrote your first stimulus check, your second stimulus check, your third recon stimulus check, claim they're writing your fourth stimulus recon check, and doing your fifth stimulus recon check as well. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? We can. When the president 2 weekends ago went overseas internationally and got the countries to anchor to the finish line, a provision about international taxes which helps pass fourth stimulus recon, which is paid for by raising taxes. Remember, recon is paid for by taxes. Bipartisan is paid for by staying away from touching your taxes. Mitch never wants you to hear or say the word taxes in his presence. That's bipartisan. Nothing about taxes. Recon, everything about taxes. Why is this incredible news? Let's go over the detail. Forced stimulus recon is paid for by raising corporate taxes. To which the president said, I'm worried about that. I'll reach out to those countries overseas that have lower corporate taxes because businesses may leave here and go over there to find lower corporate taxes. Those countries said, okay, Joe, we'll raise the rates. And to which the president reached out to his staff and said, staff, in December, let's go overseas and bring Joe's potpourri for Christmas in December and have them sign on the dotted line. Well, the staff said, Mr. President, we can bring Joe's potpourri over there now. It's the summer. People like potpourri in the summer. Okay. And have them sign on the dotted line? Yes. And that's what the president did. 2 Saturdays ago, he got those countries to sign on the dotted line, anchoring forced stimulus recon to the finish line because now you don't need provisions about corporate taxes internationally in the forced stimulus recon. They're in the international agreement. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that news? We can. With the third and final update about forced stimulus, the voting process. As Mitch McConnell's very angry now, and we love when he's angry because it means he's losing. And he has no way to do anything. We'll be going over that hilarious bit later in this video. And also, this stimulus. But is there something more wonderful than that? Yes, the volunteers. If you need money with rent, utilities, homeowners, utilities, SNAP, reach out to the volunteers. Remember, you're cashing checks on the channel. You're getting $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. You're not wondering what day in the month of July a stimulus check's coming. And if you've had problems finding this money, don't worry. We have volunteers ready to help you across the country. So go to the description of this video, open the description, and then you'll see an emoji. That emoji is a house. It clicks a link and it'll send you to the community page, news.lalate.com/community. The volunteers are separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and they'll help you get that money. Now, they cannot cook you a tostada. They cannot get you tickets to Mitch's Lobster Fest 2020. And they cannot tell you why $12 ice cream really tastes like $1 ice cream. But they can help you get all the other money across the board. And I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with a big update about forced stimulus in that breaking news you're going to hear for the first time in this morning's broadcast. And also fifth stimulus. But first, here's a little bit about the volunteers. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and I hope you're having a beautiful morning. Wow, what a day it is going to be. How's the weather? If you just joined the live chat, tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. I'll be sharing some pictures on Instagram from the beach over the weekend. Beautiful weather. I wish I took more pictures, but it was one of those days. But subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button right now. Next up, 1 million. But first, 410,000. Let's get there. Also, like this video. Every single time you like the video, it helps in the algorithm ranking. It also delivers you a garnish of parsley. And consider becoming a member. It gives you access to Brussels sprouts. Gives you access to the big money across the board. Fifth stimulus, third stimulus, and fourth stimulus. And let's get right into that fifth stimulus starting right now. Meantime, stay on this video. As soon as the video is over, this video will automatically take you to Overnight's Crypto, a fun show with a lot of people in the live chat. Don't move a muscle after this video is over. You automatically go there. Fifth stimulus has so much going on. First, a fifth stimulus check, yes. Those same House subcommittee members will be giving you a fifth stimulus check they represent. This would be in January. The vote would be in November-ish, and then the process would start around September. Next, the president has dedicated $1 billion to Social Security Administration. This is wonderful news, because finally, your stimulus would come on time. No longer that debacle about third stimulus, direct express by Comerica. Nope. Comerica no more. Now your money will come on time. Fourth stimulus, fifth stimulus, and also your benefits checks. And finally, that fifth stimulus, that big SSI reform, how does it work? Let's go over all the details. We now have the wonderful news that of our 3 wish lists, 2 have happened. 1 has happened. What is that big wish list? The wish list is that the benefits reform will happen. We have to see that vote in the fall. 2, that the inflationary benchmark reached its highest point in December when they apply your benchmark. And number 3, the benefits number will be high. The benchmark number will be high. Well, Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, has confirmed we're reaching our highest spot of inflation in December. There you go. So let's go over how this works. First, they will be doing the following. They'll be increasing your benefits across the board. They'll be removing the asset limit, then adding an inflationary benchmark, removing the income exclusion, and removing the marriage penalty. We were trying to figure out what was going to go on with inflation and that benchmark for several weeks until we got that clarity from Jay Powell. That clarity from Jay Powell came in and basically said, hey, we see that inflation rate is going up, and it's going up a lot. And with that, we learned that, hey, those benefits will suddenly hit up well. And with that, we understood how well those benefits are going. Let's go over all the details starting right now. Department of Labor, Department of Education, Department of Unemployment, PPI, CPI, Jay Powell, and Wall Street have now all said that inflation is going up. We all know that. How high? Well, it's going to reach its highest spot in December. Everyone's now saying. What will the number be? Most of Wall Street say it's heading to 10%, that we're about 4% right now. Let's go over the calculation. First, they'll raise your benefits up a one-time, lifetime. This is if you are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, multiple benefits, or casino benefits. They're going to then apply your benchmark. Now, you know what your benchmark is going to be, inflation, and you know it's going up, yeah, and you know it's going to reach its peak when they apply it, yep. So how high is it going to go up? Let's say it's 10%. That would raise your benefits up 10%. Not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. If the year after that the inflation rate is 1%, then you're at +1 plus 10%. Wow, now that is wonderful news. That is a lot more money than SS200 was ever going to give you. Then they're going to remove the ESSA cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. The ESSA cap is going to get rid of that. They're going to get rid of the asset cap, so you'll be able to have some stimulus checks in your hand and room for a taco. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. Now you'll be able to work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest. You will no longer fear the marriage penalty or not get married because of the marriage penalty. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and no longer fear loss of marriage benefits. And there you go. But how are these viewers getting $5,000, $10,000 from this channel? Where are they finding this information? They're getting this information as members. The membership link's at the top of the chat and pin comment. Daily, I deliver to viewers a breakdown of all the money in third stimulus, and it's fortunes. As soon as third stimulus was passed, I said, yeah, you're going to get a $14 stimulus check. But I want you to get the $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, and viewers are getting this money routinely. They're adding a zero to that stimulus check. They're upwards of $10,000, $12,000. They're getting 3 items like Norm and Nisi. So consider becoming a member so you learn about the items in third stimulus. Daily, I deliver to you via the community page on YouTube a breakdown of all this money that's in third stimulus so you can get it and what's proposed for fourth and fifth stimulus. Most of the items are application-based. And with that, it brings us to our finale, our big final update of the breaking news of your fourth stimulus happening this morning. You know, it's important to go back to those PAFs and those PAFs, recon and bipartisan. 2 PAFs, but ultimately 3 bills. There will need to be a recon procedural bill, a recon substantive bill, and a recon and a bipartisan bill. Those 2 PAFs, recon and bipartisan. How are they getting voted on? Well, that is where all the fireworks have been since Thursday. How did it happen? Let me go over broadly the summary of what it is, rather than chronology, which will maybe confuse you. The summary is the following. Chuck Schumer is leader of the Senate. Nancy Pelosi is leader of the House. The president is the leader of the presidency. Guess who determines what bills are voted on in the House? Nancy. Guess who determines what bills are voted on in the Senate? Chuck. So if Chuck doesn't want to call a bill for a vote, he doesn't have to call it. Guess who does not control anything for voting processes? Mitch McConnell. Now, in 2020, Mitch McConnell was in control, but he's no longer. And he doesn't particularly like that. He doesn't particularly like that Chuck now determines when things go for a vote. And what happened with Mitch yesterday? Well, Mitch did us a favor, but he also made himself look foolish. First, he did us a favor by trash-talking recon. By trash-talking it, he explain to the American people that all that money for us is in there that certain conservative media were trying to tell us we would never get. Remember all the naysayers that said, there's no money in there for you, it's just roads and bridges. Yeah, there was enough of that conservative media running that fake narrative till we were blue in the face. Well, Mitch did us a favor because he came out and called it what he doesn't like it. It's a democratic wish list of checks for people and progressive socialism where people get checks and can stay home and get lots of checks. Well, thank you, Mitch. You just did us a favor. You just explained to the American people that all that naysayer fake narrative of it's just roads and bridges was wrong. Thank you for explaining that to the American people. It's when people get angry that they often explain things well. But he also got angry about something else. What did he get angry about? He got angry about his bipartisan, which I thought he was not going to like the bipartisan, to be very frank to you. But his comment about the bipartisan is call it first for a vote, Chuck. Don't call your recon for a vote first. Well, Mitch, you don't determine who calls a vote first. Here's what you need to know. Number one, the president has said publicly, he has told Leader Schumer to call the vote on the recon and the bipartisan together. But you know what Chuck is going to do? He's not going to call something for a vote of Mitch McConnell's before his own stuff. Chuck is going to do what helps Chuck and the Democrats. So Chuck is going to call the recon for a vote first, obviously, and then he's going to go call a vote on the bipartisan. And when they both pass, then he's going to send them to Nancy. And then Nancy has an easy job because she has received exactly what the president instructed, a recon pass and a bipartisan pass landing in the House. And then she'll pass and send it to the Senate, send it to the president. Now, what did Nancy do to sort of make the message very clear? Nancy came out with her own way of being persuasive, saying, if any Republican thinks they can just send me the bipartisan without the recon and throw the recon by the side of this road and just send me your darn bipartisan, good luck. I'm throwing your bipartisan in the garbage can. Thank you, Nancy, for those wonderful words. Why is that great? Because she's basically protecting Fort stimulus. She's saying, here is Fort stimulus. We're pushing Fort stimulus right to the finish line. And don't try to make an attack on Fort stimulus. What did the president say as well? The president said, I can't tell legislators how to do things. Well, of course you can't. But he can sort of tell Chuck and Nancy what they're going to do, and they're going to do what they're going to do. But I'm going to encourage people, don't try to derail my recon. Don't you come for my recon, because then I'll come for your stuff. Wow. Now that's wonderful. That's reassuring, because finally we have Jalopal protecting Fort stimulus, and we have Nancy protecting Fort stimulus, and we have Chuck protecting Fort stimulus. So who do we have down the road? Down the road by the river? Mitch, upset with that, with that fishing pole, saying, call my stuff for a vote first. Well, sorry, Mitch, not going to happen that way. Which brings us to narratives. Will there be any fake narratives this week? I want to prepare you, as I always do. Will there be potential fake narratives? Of course. I can just write them right now. You're going to pick up a conservative media outlet, if that's what you do, and it's going to say, Kristen Sinema or Joe Manchin have suddenly surprised everyone. Oh, God. It's the same darn story. They're not surprising anyone. In fact, the reason why this is going to the finish line is because Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin got there, has to go by bipartisan, the roads and bridges part, and the rest of stuff going by recon. It's a brilliant idea. Brilliant idea. This has been plotted out for weeks by Nancy, Joe, and the press. Next, checks can go out in the month of July for the month of July. Third, it's important to note that this is not fake narrative, but it's sort of bizarre narrative. There's some people that are doing Star Trek games in some of the comments. You know in Star Trek, where you want to go up to see Captain Kirk on the bridge, and you want to get to the bridge from wherever. I don't know where those other people go. From downstairs, from the kitchen, from cooking bacon, going to go to the bridge. You go, you just sort of dissolve like the Jetsons. And then, so I see some people dropping comments. So if they call the vote on the 4th, we're getting the check on the 5th? When do you get a check in 24 hours? We've done 3 stimulus packages together, folks. How many checks have you got in 24 hours from any stimulus package? I think the fastest we ever anyone got a check, I think was 48 hours. And that was with Chime or Cash App, where they prepaid it ahead of time. They actually hadn't received the funds. In the case where they did receive the funds, I think the fastest we ever saw was 3 days. But please, I'm afraid to even say that, because someone's going to say, you said we're going to get in 3 days. Oh, please. You know how long it takes to get the check from here to there. Yeah. So those are the fake narratives I expect. Finally, for any person who jumps in any comments and says, so are we going to get the check on the 4th or the 5th or the 5th or the 3rd or the 5th or the 6th? Donut. That's just donut-ish. For every time you're typing that, instead be using that time to dial the phone and call your senator. WR, who absolutely needs to be praised every single day on this channel, picked up the phone and did exactly what I said last Friday. Called the Democratic senator from Delaware, Coons, Joe Biden's closest confidant, actually part of the bipartisan caucus, and spoke to his secretary, explained professionally why we need multiple stimulus checks, explained his position. And at the end of the conversation, the secretary said, yes, Senator Coons is writing a monthly stimulus check provision in the 4th stimulus package recon. Wow. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do a triple wow and put that at the front of this video because I don't want anyone to lay back in that lazy boy chair and put that donut in their hair and say, can I have another donut? I don't have to do anything. WR did all the work for me. Nope. You need to be a WR. You need to pick up the phone and do the same thing. Call up your Democratic senator. If you have no Democratic senators and they vote for Republicans, call up someone else's senators. Warren, Sanders, Coons, and express professionally why you need a stimulus check. They need to hear your message because ultimately everyone has a different message. Maybe you're in a small town where all the businesses shut down and haven't come back up. Maybe you're in a community where it's supported by a factory and the factory has been shut down because of COVID problems and there's no businesses and no one has any money and everyone's in debt. Maybe you have a student loan debt problem and you need the stimulus check till they solve the student loan situation. Maybe you have a very interesting situation. Prepare in your mind ahead of time before you call why you need it and express it to them. And that is how it works. Also go on social media, tag your elected senators and tag your Democratic House members, the caucus members of the Progressive, the chair, the vice chair, Jalopal, Warren, Sanders. Tag these people because remember, the bill will be starting in the Senate, going to the House and then the President. You want to start by getting it right at the very beginning with the Senate. And with that, stay on this video. It'll automatically take you into Overnight's Crypto. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I don't want you to miss any video across the board. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video. 2,000-3,000 likes. Every like helps and helps the algorithm ranking and also delivers some parsley on the side. And consider becoming a member so you learn what's in third stimulus so you get this big money for you as well. Also fourth and fifth stimulus. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful morning and see you next on Overnight's Crypto and then Mornings LA live on air. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA.